Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. It's Kaya today. Hope everyone's having an amazing morning. I just wanted to post this video today because I said I would, continue with describing my journey in dealing with polygyny. And I wanted to do it before I lost the nerve, right? But I kept saying to myself, like, when will I post it? When will I post it? When will I post it? And just to let you guys know, I'm sitting in my car because this is where I get the most peace. I have 5 children, so after dropping everyone off at school, I'm now sitting in the car talking to you guys. So, okay. So like I said before, me and my husband, we've been married for, at the time, it was 11 years. And now that I'm thinking backward, he used to bring up polygyny, but it was never in a way where I felt like, oh, he's actually going to do it. It was just like, oh, maybe one day, I don't know, Allah knows best, but it's not in my plan. So I just was like, oh, it'll never happen. I made dua for it. To be honest, I was making dua that Allah never allowed it to happen because that's something I just didn't want. I just didn't want to share my husband with anybody. I didn't want him to love anybody else or have children with anybody else. I thought, we were fine. If it's not broke, don't fix it, right? Again, like I said, he's my very best friend, and we still have an amazing relationship, even though the dynamic has changed just a little. And that's just through us growing through the pains that come along with, adjusting and changing our family. So, I will say, I never believed that he would do it. Never in my wildest dreams. If somebody came to me and said, oh, he's going to get another wife, I'd have been like, lies, not my baby. So one day, he came to me, and I totally wasn't expecting it, but I kind of felt uneasy one day. So one day he came to me and he told me yes, I'm getting married. And I was shattered, to be honest. I can't put it any other way. I'm not going to try to soften the blow. My feelings were shattered. I felt so disappointed, so heartbroken, so, betrayed, so hurt, so just I'm not good enough, I'm not doing enough. I felt insufficient in my own self, being his wife. And no matter what he tried to tell me, no matter what he tried to say to ease that blow, it didn't work. It didn't work. And I found myself very emotional, very upset, crying all the time, second guessing myself, second guessing my relationship, second guessing, to be honest, in my head I was things that we would never encourage anybody to say, oh, why is this happening to me? What did I do wrong? Ya Allah, what did I do wrong? And then one day, I had one night I was really, really couldn't. I felt like somebody was sitting on my chest, because I found out right before he was about to do it. And I know now that he did it that way because he didn't want to hurt me. He didn't want to hurt my feelings. So he tried to leave, which I don't suggest anybody does. Maybe you should, say something, make it a reality, right? But he tried to wait as long as possible to make sure that it was the right fit for him, and make sure that that she was the one, and to see if it was really going to work. So I can respect it, but that hurt too. Just the feeling of oh, you've been behind my back. I really didn't understand that, because we shared everything. When I say everything, me and my husband share everything. So I couldn't believe that this huge decision you kept from me for so long. So I was just heartbroken. So anyway, this night, I left out because I felt like just like I was running on the little wheel that the rats run on. I felt like, I was just spinning, not going anywhere, not feeling any better. Excuse me, I just felt stuck. So this one night I had to take like a break, and I left and I went to sit by myself, and I just had to like come to the realization that, first of all, I didn't become a Muslim for him. I was a Muslim before him. I believed in Allah before I ever had a husband, before I ever had kids. I had to come to the realization that, Allah himself says that he will never give someone a burden that they can't handle, right? So I just, I had to really, really just kind of revert back to all that I believed in, like, and really just try to hold on with all of my might to my Lord, because I was saying to myself, like, I know Allah loves me. I'm certain Allah loves me, especially with this type of test, because, again, I come from a non-Muslim family, and still some of my family members don't even know that he's married. Only the really, really important ones, right? Because I don't want that judgment. I don't want that. Like, not that I would ever do that to anybody. I've never been like that. But especially because I'm Muslim, like, I understand that it comes along with the religion. But, just because I'm Muslim doesn't mean that I have to necessarily open arm polygyny. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make me less, and maybe I'm not saying it right, but that's just, how I feel. Like, it's okay for me to not be okay with it. It's okay for me to be upset. It's okay for me to be hurt. It's okay for me to be feeling the way I'm feeling without having to have someone judge me, or another Muslim being like, because I hear a lot of people say, well, get out your feelings. Get out of my feelings? First of all, I'm a woman. That's number one. And number two, when you build something and you share something with a man and you give them all of you, it's a hard pill to swallow when he comes to tell you that he wants to marry someone else. Like, I get it, and I know that it's permissible. And yes, in some sort, you do have to get out of your feelings. You have to put some things aside to not go crazy, right? You have to, or else you will go crazy. But I always heard, like, women come and say, well, get out your feelings. Well, he can have up to 4. Well, he can do this and he can do that. He's just a man. He's your vehicle to paradise. And I get it and I respect it, but everybody looks at it differently. And to be honest with you, even 2 years in, and maybe that's like my issue, even still 2 years in, almost 2 years in, inshallah, it'll be 2 years. I don't feel like this is my husband, he's just my vehicle to Jannah. No, he's more than that to me. And maybe I looked at the fact that, maybe this is why Allah put this into my life, because he's always been more than that to me. Like, I swear to you, that the type of relationship that we have, still have, and, had, it was like a dangerous type of love. When I say, like, dangerous meaning, like, if he was to, God forbid, pass away today or tomorrow, I wouldn't know which way was up or which way was down. Why? Because, like, he was my everything. He still is my everything. But at least now, I didn't lose anything, but at least now, having to share him as a husband, and knowing that I share him, and even though I have my own special place in his heart, and she may have her own special place in his heart, it's just like, at least now I know I can survive, right? Maybe that sounds mean, but before it was like, well, if you die, you might as well take me with you. That's like how much I was like so like into him, like, well, no, I'm no more good if he's not here. So alhamdulillah for that, just that perspective, right? And I had to remember that, I was an individual, that I took my shahada and I became a Muslim because I believed in Allah as the one and only God worthy of worship, and that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is his messenger. Like, I had to remember that before I was his wife, before I was their mother, I was myself. I was a Muslim. I became a Muslim because I believed in everything. And it's just not, Islam is not a plate of food. I can't just say, oh yeah, I believe in, but I don't believe in that part. No. I do believe in Allah as the one and only God worthy of worship, and that Muhammad is his messenger. But I just didn't see polygyny for myself, if that makes sense. So again, that's how it kind of happened, and I just kind of just had to take a step back and just realize that, I was an individual first, and it took some time, like the emotional roller coaster. One day I was fine, the next day I was torn down, the following day I was angry, the next day after that I was hurt, the next day after that it was like, you know what, I'm out of here, I'm done with this, I'm over this. But alhamdulillah, one thing that I can say that I found to help me, and maybe it will help some of you, is just looking at myself and seeing that I was a Muslim first, and I didn't become Muslim for him, and I will still be a Muslim after he's long gone, whether that's him leaving this life, getting a divorce, or whatever the case may be. May Allah protect me from that and me. But I will always be, inshallah, a Muslim because I believe in my Lord and everything that comes along with being a Muslim. Like, I had to realize that this was my own struggle. This was my own test, and this was something that was going to gain me or get me in a better position with my Lord, because it is not easy. It's not easy at all. It's not easy. It's not something that, people be like some women say, like, oh, it doesn't matter. Oh, mashallah. No. We're women, first and foremost, and Allah knows us best, too. That the jealousy, even the wives of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam had extreme jealousy. But it's just that you can't allow that jealousy to control your every move. Because if I would have allowed what I was feeling to control me, alhamdulillah, I'm grateful for dua, because I always remember that dua is a weapon.